Restoring your website doesn't have to be a difficult or time-consuming process. I am going to prove that to you today by showing you how to restore your website 2 different ways in less than 10 minutes, including in one way that will save your entire website if it's been lost and you can't get access. I'll even start by showing you how to create a backup of your website should you need to do a restoration. It's easy, I promise. Let's get on with it. Follow me. Okay, so to restore your website, you first need a backup of your website, otherwise you've got nothing to restore from. I will show you a little bit later down the line how to automate your backups, but for now, I will show you how to just make an individual backup that we are going to be able to restore from. So firstly, we're going to head down to plugins just here, and I'm just going to click on Add Plugin. Now this backup step can be completed just by searching for Duplicator up in the search plugins here on the WordPress plugins repository, and it will give you Duplicator. It will, I promise, just here where you can click on install now and activate. This is completely free and you'll be able to make a backup. However, for a lot of what we're going to do today, we are going to be using Duplicator Pro. So I'm just going to go ahead and install that right now. So what we want to do is drag our Duplicator Pro file, drop it into there, and then click on install now. It's just going to give us really advanced functionality compared to the free version, so that we can go ahead and do things like one-click restores and things like that. So let's install it and wait for it to give us an option to activate. And there is our option, Activate Plugin. This is going to drop me through to the Duplicator Pro Backups page, which looks like this. And all we have to do is create a new backup. So I can do that by clicking on Add New just here. And then it's very much just a system of going ahead and following through the various steps. So all here, we're going to do this very quickly today. We don't need to go through it too much. We're just going to allow all of this to be as it is. We don't actually need to adjust any of it. We can go ahead and just click on Next. This is going to scan the site to just assess if everything's okay for a backup. Usually just takes a couple of seconds. Not even a second, apparently this time. And once that's all done, you can see everything is good here. No issues at all. I can go ahead and create the backup. Here we go. So we are now creating the backup. This will depend on how big your website is as to how long this takes to do. For this particular website that I'm doing today, the chances are it'll only take around a minute. So just hold on a second. I will skip to when this is done. Okay, so that's done, and it has given me my backup just here, and I've got a few different options as to what I can do. I can download this particular backup, which is a great idea. I can download the installer, the archive file, just download both. So now I have a copy of this particular backup saved on my computer should I need to use it, which we are going to need in just a second. What we're also going to do is we're going to come across here. We've got a few options. Manual backup, we can start one going, where the backup is stored, and this one here, the disaster recovery option. So we're just going to click on that, and we're going to create a disaster recovery option from this particular backup. What that means is should everything, absolutely everything, go horribly, horribly wrong, you lose your entire website, you have a way to recover and restore it using this method. So it's going to give you this here, and we can set disaster recovery. We get a couple more things that we can download here. So the first one is the launcher. So we can download the launcher. Let's do that. Again, I will explain all of this to you in a second when I'm showing you how to recover your site. And then we can also copy a link. So let's copy this particular link, and I'm just going to paste it onto a document so that I have access to it later down the line. So that's our backups complete. So let's go ahead and use those to show you the 2 different ways that you can restore your website. The first one is to look here at this backup that we have. Now, what you might use this for is if I go to my website, which is here, and let's say I do something foolish that I create a problem with. So let's say, for example, let's go into the customize option here, and let's make a massive change to the website. Okay, here we go. I have absolutely butchered my website. The colors are all over the place. You can't read things properly. It's just not the right vibe anymore. This bright green is not working. What is going on? And it's even got a weird picture of a pair of football boots or soccer cleats, depending on where you're from, in the background that is really low resolution. This looks bad. Now, to fix all of this and put it back could potentially take a lot of time. You may not know how to do it. You may have made some of these changes by accident, or you might have changed something and it's just had a knock-on effect and lots of stuff has gone wrong, but your website is still fully functional. It just looks bad. Or you installed a plugin and that plugin's messing with something and you need to kind of get rid of that and get back to where you were. That's the primary focus here. Get back to where you were. So what we can do is we can come to this particular backup that we had earlier and we can use it. So let's go ahead and just click on the restore button just here. So we click on restore. Duplicator will start doing its thing and it's going to initialize the installer. This is one of the files that we downloaded, but it's already available here. It's checking the validation, completely fine, and you've got a warning here that's going to overwrite all of the data to what we previously had. That's completely fine as well. That's exactly what we want it to do. So I'm going to read and accept the terms and notices and restore the backup. Again, just a warning that a lot of stuff's going to be overwritten, but that's exactly the intention that we're going for. And we're just going to click on OK. That doesn't take very long, so the recovery process is completely done. And then we're just going to go ahead and do an admin login and auto-delete the installer files. Okay, you can see here that it says the site has successfully been restored, so we can just check it now. So this is what we did have, and if we go to the website now, it is back to exactly what we had before. Much, much nicer looking, no dodgy colors, and no weird images. So let's just go back to backups here, and that was essentially option 1. That's the first thing that you can do. However, let's go back to this, the disaster recovery section. Now, this is where not you've just made a mistake, but your entire website is basically lost. You cannot get access, you cannot restore it, you can't even get hold or get into your dashboard like this. Something has gone catastrophically wrong. It is a disaster. So how do we fix that? Well, we downloaded our disaster recovery option earlier. So all we have to do now, let's bring this over. I downloaded this file here. Now this is exactly the same as the URL that I copied as well. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this HTML document. So double click on that. Boom. We have exactly the same recovery option that we saw just a minute ago. It's going to be exactly the same process from beginning to end. Apart from you don't have to have access to your WordPress site to be able to run it. Everything can be lost. Everything can be in the worst possible state. And provided you have a backup that is recent, provided you have a backup that was done within the last kind of, even in the last month, 6 months, it doesn't matter if you haven't made the changes, then you're going to be able to put it back together. Now, of course, if you haven't made a backup, you have created yourself a problem because you don't have a disaster recovery point, you don't have a backup in the first place, and if you're anything like me, you forget to do that frequently. So while I say, yeah, you can have one from 6 months ago, but if you've made 6 months worth of updates and edits, that's going to be a pain to fix. So what you want is a backup that was done recently that you didn't forget to make. The way that you can do that is you can schedule a backup. So if we come here, we can click on schedule backups just here, which is going to be give us an option to start the schedule. We can come across and click on add new. And if you want to know how to fully complete and create a schedule backup, all you have to do is click on this video right here.